Hey, Chandler Bolt here, and in this video, I want to talk about the two most important things that matter when hiring employees at a fast growth startup and the two fastest ways to get promoted if you're working at a high growth startup. All right, I'm going to dive straight into it. So when you're at a fast growth company, change is the only constant. So things are always changing, things are always improving, things are always growing. And kind of one of my favorite quotes on this is from the Shopify CEO, and it just perfectly encapsulates my thoughts on this, is that, when you're in a fast growth company, say your company's growing at 40% a year, well, you have to grow personally by 40% per year just to requalify for your existing position. Think about that. Let that set in. You've got to grow by 40% per year personally just to requalify for your current position. And that goes for me as the CEO, that goes for leaders in the company, that goes for anyone in the company. And really that leads into the two most important skill sets that you need to hire for. So you need to look for this if you're a hiring manager, if you're a CEO that's hiring your first employees. But then as an employee, if you develop these two skill sets, you're gonna get promoted. You'll never be out of a job. There will be no shortage of opportunities because this is the fuel that really drives growth. And it's the thing that managers and leaders are always looking for and kind of starve for in a company. So number one is the ability to lead people. All right, and I know your first thought might be, oh man, that's so simple, or hold up, I'm not a leader, I don't have people that report to me. So leadership, and I believe that it's super important that we redefine what leadership means, and we talk about this all the time at Self-Publishing School, is that leadership is the ability to influence others and make the people around you better. It's not a title, it's not, I've got 5 people reporting to me, but leadership is, do you positively influence and make the people around you better? So that means, could you lead a project? Are you challenging people? Are you holding people accountable? Do you elevate the standard, right? One of our core values, best is the standard. Are you continually raising the standard? And best is the standard is always raising, right? So are you raising the standard? Are you leading the people around you? Now, great leaders have a high level of influence and they make things better. They go the extra mile. They tighten things up. They work late. They work on the weekend. They're making things better. Number 2 is developing and improving systems. Now I'm going to dive into that a little bit later, but number 3, and a close third and kind of a bonus, is the ability to autonomously drive projects forward and to completion without follow-up from your manager or your leader. And that, that's an amazing skill set. That's something that is also in short supply, but I'll save that for another video. I'll save that for another day because I really think these two things are most important. So can you lead, and do you have influence and positive influence on the people around you and challenging them to grow? And then do you have the ability to develop and create systems? Because in a fast growth company, those two skill sets are so important, right? We need people who can lead the people around them. So whether they're in a leadership position or not, they're leading. And then, because at a fast growth company, you're always hiring. So you always need more leaders. You always, there's next levels of management. There's leading 1 or 2 people, maybe leading up to 5 to 7 people. And so when you have people who have that innate leadership ability, they handle that transition well. And obviously, and this, I think this goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, is that it starts with leading yourself well, right? You have to be able to lead yourself well, and that's kind of the bonus third thing, is autonomously driving projects forward to completion without follow-up from your manager or leader. So you got to lead yourself well and then lead others well. But we can't just have people who are great leaders and who, they can get people fired up or they can drive people towards a common goal. But if you're all muscle and no systems, well, then that's not going to work either. Because at a fast growth company, you need to develop, create, and improve systems. So do you have the ability? And yes, spoiler alert, you do. You just have to develop this skill set. But do you have the ability, or are the people that you're hiring, do they have the ability to think critically, to think about second level repercussions, to think about, oh, I've seen this problem 5 times. What if we just created a system, went upstream and fixed this? Or a lot of times you're able to systematize your own job, because I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to promote someone, but their job isn't systematized, right? So I couldn't hire someone off the street to do their job within 2 weeks. And so I say, man, I'd really love to promote you, but you got to systematize your role. If you can't systematize your role, then I can't hire someone and promote you and move you into a new position. So not only is this one of the fastest ways to get promoted, but it's the ability to adapt and move around and then recognize, hey, this needs to be systematized. Now, these are kind of the two, what I think are the two most important skill sets to hire for. But oftentimes, and here's the catch, is that there's this dichotomy, right? A lot of times people who are good with people or leadership are not as good at projects or tasks, right? You kind of have, I found it's usually one of two things, right? Either I love tasks and I love projects and I'm really good at that, or I love people and I'm really good with people. But those two skill sets oftentimes are at a dichotomy, or it's really hard to find someone with those two skill sets. So my mandate or encouragement or whatever you want to call it to you is, as a hiring manager, look for and test for those skill sets. If you find people with those skill sets, develop them, invest in them, help them grow, promote them, hire for this, and all those things. And then if you're working at a company and you're thinking, oh, how do I show value? How do I get promoted? How do I develop as a leader or develop in this company? Develop those two skill sets. Develop your leadership qualities and develop the ability to create and improve systems. And obviously, if you're watching this at self-publishing school, this is something that you need to work on. And this is one of the fastest ways to get promoted. So there you have it. Those are the two things that you should look for when hiring employees at a fast growth startup, and the two fastest ways to get promoted at a company. So develop leadership skills. And again, remember, leadership is not a title. Leadership is influence and the ability to make the people around you better, and then develop the ability to create and improve systems. I've got another video you might want to check out. It's on how to create a playbook or how to systematize your role or your job or any of those things. Highly recommend that. That's kind of where the rubber meets the road on the system side of things. But look for those two skill sets, hire for those two skill sets. So I'd love to hear from you. Comment below. Let me know, what was your takeaway from this video? What do you need to work on? So do you have people in your organization that are higher on the people side of things, in the leadership side, or that are higher on the system side? Or maybe you have neither, in which case, either way, comment, let me know, what are your takeaways and how can you apply this in your business or in your role? Seriously, take 2 seconds right now to comment on this video. I'd love to hear from you. I read and respond to every single comment, so I'll see your comments and takeaways below. And then again, as always, click the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel or to this podcast. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.